Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today I'm building another K40 laser bed. The first one I ever built was very advanced and I had a lot of help from my friend David, who did a lot of the coding on that, and it was brilliant and I love it. I have since given it away to a friend of mine who was desperate for it, or desperately in need of a bed that was height exchangeable, and at the time I didn't need it. So I went on to make one, the second one I've ever made, which is just a grid that was exactly where I need it for 3mm ply or 3mm MDF. They're the two things I mainly cut in. Anyway, recently I decided I was going to use some old pallet wood and just do a few fun signs from around the house. Crystal loves little, little funny signs and little comical bits and bobs. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to cut a few things out, and I suddenly realised that the bed is up too high, so I'm going to have to make something that's a little bit interchangeable. So I went online and I bought one of those lab grade lift things, this thing here, and it was about £9.50 to £10, somewhere along that route. And so I'm going to use that, and I'm going to 3D print a bit of bits and pieces, and we're going to make ourselves a very simple little bed to lift up and down and give us a bit more sort of height adjustment. There is a 3D printable version of the lift, which I'll talk to you about in a second, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. But before I get on, I'd just like to thank David, Paul and Simon, my Patreons. You guys really have kept this channel going. It gives me so much pleasure to make you guys videos, and I just really appreciate everything you guys have done. If you'd like to be a patron, the links are in the description. Anyway, let's get on. Okay, like I said, I'm making this up as I go along, and this is what I think you need so far. We've got tin foil, I've got some double-sided tape, some duct tape, and one of these scissor lift, lab lift techie things that you can buy all over eBay. This one cost me, I think it was £10, but you can 3D print these as well. So if you can't find them, or you can't get to them in your country, whatever, you can just 3D print one. I haven't done it myself, so I don't know how good they work, but that's life, try it, see what happens. And if you do end up 3D printing one, leave a link to the actual files that you used, and a little bit of a did it work, did it not work, and I'll pin the comments so that people can see where you got yours from and whether it worked, etc. Now this is pretty much all you need, but I'm going to 3D print a bit just to make my life a little bit more bearable, so I'll do that now. Okay, and here's the bit that 3D printed. Sadly, the print didn't finish. It was the hottest day in the UK, recorded, I think it was the hottest day in record, and my 3D printer got too hot and the actual filament got caught in the extruder and just started to melt all the way up, and it went all Pete Tong. Now, this bit isn't 100% necessary, but what I'm planning on doing is getting this, hang on, and having it like that, and then having this underneath, well, like this, and then this whole lot lifts up and down on the laser bed. Yeah, I've chosen to do it with this bit in between, the intermediate bit, because then I think it's going to be able to stick more surface area here, and then I've got more surface area here to stick to the piece of wood. Right, so first things first, I'm going to get some double-sided tape. Now I've also got these double-sided foam stuff. I'm not going to bother using this. I'm going to just try normal tape. If it works, brilliant. If it doesn't, awkward. So double-sided tape is the bane of my existence. I hate this stuff with a vengeance, and 99% of the time I regret using it, so the odds are I'm going to regret using it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to peel it off, plonk it on, right, I'm just going to clean up some of the edges, and then I'm going to measure out where we want it. Okay, next what I want to do is work out where the middle of both of these, this board is, and where the middle of the actual green one is. So this is dead on, well, yeah, close enough to 30, so we'll do 15. Now as long as I measure up this circle and work out where these would intersect, then I can pretty much get it close enough to center as it is. Now all we want to do is make sure that when this is in there, we're going to be able to reach it. So I'm tempted to move it forward a bit. I'm just going to turn it over and have a look if it's going to be too hard to get to. No, that's alright. No, we can have it in the middle. Okay, I've just put a mark on these two corners, so when I take all of the backing tape off, I can line up those two corners first, and then we should be alright. Okay, now it's the scary bit where I've got to take all this off and hope that what was I saying? Oh, hope that I get it in the right place first time, because if I don't, then we're going to have a lot of trouble. Right, now the more astute of you will have noticed the tinfoil. That is actually to protect our laser bed. Now because it's a 40 watt CO2 laser we're doing it for, it will not cut through tinfoil or aluminium foil or aluminum foil or kitchen foil, depending on where you are in the world and how you want to say it. So I'm going to just rip some off. Turn it over. And eventually stuff will rip through this, or will the laser will eventually scratch through this, whether it's over time you're cutting the same line or whatever. But you just recover it. It's not an issue, and it's just particularly to protect this piece of wood for as long as possible. You know, it's not even that important, you know. So this is what the duct tape's for. Okay, I've pulled it as tight as I can without ripping it, just to give us a bit more of a smooth surface. And now I'm going to work on the other edges. Okay, rather than using duct tape for these sides, I'm just going to use normal sellotape. Okay, and finally what we're going to do is we're going to put some more tape on here, and then we're going to plonk it in here. Oh, you idiot, look, straight away. I heard it as well as I moved it. But like with everything, I'm just going to stick it over. There we go, job's good, and as long as it's covered a little bit. Alright. One thing I could have done, but I don't have at the moment, is I could have used that aluminium tape that you get for like piping and stuff, but I just don't. I don't have it. It's quite expensive nowadays. And there you go. We now have a simple up and down laser bed. There you go. Very, very simple. It'll do what I need, and it's not really that much of a problem. It was all made from bits I've either 3D printed or purchased, but like, you know, the majority of the stuff you could just find lying around your house. Just the scissor lift thing, but as I say, there is a 3D printable version of it, and I'll leave a link for that in the description. But it does exactly what I need. I don't need anything more. I will eventually add a stepper motor to it and have a little up and down lever on the side, just so I can up and down it. And I'm thinking about having a little indicator, so as it goes up and down it can touch something and it will tell me exactly when it's at the focal distance that my laser is, which I think is 4.7 millimeters, 47 millimeters I believe, but I could be completely wrong. I'd have to look into it, I can't remember. So there you go. I hope that helped you guys. Thank you so much again to my Patreons. Again, if you want to look in the description, there is a link to it if you're interested. We do behind the scenes stuff and early access, that kind of thing. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.